Okay. Welcome back to Tesla Streams, Crystalis, Rebalanced, Finale. There we go. Get all that out. Whew boy. Go ahead and make sure everything is situated here. Got my Psycho armor, got the Psycho shield. Got the power ring, got the shield ring, got the warrior ring. What am I missing? There's another item that you're supposed to get, but I, for the life of me, don't know what it is. I got Dio's pendant. Got the leather boots. You know what? I'm not concerned about it. It's not important. The power ring was the big thing I wanted. So, yeah, let's do this. I also went ahead and bought another magic ring. There's just one more dungeon left. Sort of. You'll see, but... let's see here. Do I want to level up any? Well, I'm only level 14, I guess, so I could probably get away with it. Yeah, my level 1 attack is like murdering these things with that equipped. It's ridiculous. Now, like mentioned before, I'm playing a mod of this game. In the original game, you had to be level 16 at this point to beat the game. You could not be anything less. Which I always thought was kind of a dumb requirement. There are enemies that you fight after the so-called final boss. So... it just seems kind of weird that you get nothing out of it. I won't explain why, but you'll see. You know what, I'm just gonna use leather boots for this. Well, actually, no I won't. There we go. Alright, let's do this. Not sure if people are able to see the stream decent. When Matt comes on, I'll have to see what he has to say about it. But time to get the different bows out of the way, because you kind of need them for this. Statue of Sun is destroyed. And Statue of Moon is destroyed. Get flight out, because you're gonna need to use it a bit. Oh right, I forgot about these things. Yeah, these things are very hard to destroy. I'm not even gonna bother with it. They do try to turn you into monsters with their attacks, so that's kind of annoying. Especially since there's a huge influx of them in this area. Sometimes in large groups too, like this room. I mean this part of the room. It's very annoying to deal with. Does leather boots affect this? Yes, it does. Moss again, I hate you. And it's another little maze area, of course it is. Oh my... You know what? Don't care. Where's my warrior ring? Screw you and your stupid pit. I don't care. And we're already at the end. Huh, okay. Works for me. Just a moment. Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure you could see it. There we go. Okay. Well, that maze didn't last. Now did it? Works for me. Okay, powering and... Okay, I'm gonna wait for him to log in. And in the meantime, I'm gonna just heal up. Although, if you know what you're doing, this fight is not hard. Go ahead and equip one of those, just, you know, for the sake of it. Okay, there we go. You do not need to prepare. You know, that's kind of true. When I first played this game, I was expecting the worst when I got to this point. Especially since I couldn't figure out why I couldn't beat the final boss, because I wasn't level 16 yet. Don't ask me how. It's not like it's hard to level up, but yeah. Let's see how hard this is when I'm not at max level, though. You, Tesla, you shall receive the wrath of my fury for taking my kingdom from me. And the fight is identical to the first one we fought. You want to come down? Thank you. What? What happened to my attack? It cut out early. Wait. Really? If I attack him with my sword, it cancels it out. What? That's stupid. Really? I don't remember that being the case. Is that a change to the mod that I'm playing? Because that just seems kind of weird. Yeah, if I was level 16, he would have been... Oh, that's right. I forgot. He has infinite health as long as you don't use the Bow of Truth. I was thinking about the first fight. Yep. If you don't use the Bow of Truth, he has infinite health. You can be here as long as you want. You will not kill him this way. The arrow pierces the heart of the Emperor, and his true image is revealed. This is the real fight. Now, when I first played the game, I had the hardest time beating this guy, but he is not that hard. The trick is you can only hit him with when his chest is revealed. Still, all in all, he's not really that hard to deal with. Just don't stand in front of him, and avoid his little, demon ball things. I'm not sure why he looks demonic looking, it's kind of weird, actually. What's annoying is when he never opens up. Come on, open up already. No! Oh, huh, that's weird. There we go. When he shoots the laser beams, you know you're doing the right thing. The problem is that he's... Is he a dragon? I mean, I guess it's not too out of place. I mean, his name is Draconia. But it's just weird. like, why? It's like nothing else in the game even remotely looks like this. Not even his four generals, which all look somewhat humanoid in appearance. Nope, total dragon. Okay. And yeah, I know the plot twist that's coming up, but still. Even that doesn't explain much. Oh, come on. Just open up already. Wait. Huh. Damn it. Yeah, best to play it safe here. Damn it. Alright, whatever. I say he's not hard, but honestly, that charge attack of his is hard as hell to avoid. Okay. The Dragon Slayer. I know that reference. You're talking about Legacy of the Wizard. I've actually played that game, and I wouldn't mind actually streaming that as well, because that is a really fun game, if you know how to beat it. Because if you... Okay, I won. Good job. This is the way it was supposed to be. I must explain. I didn't want evil in my mind, and I tried to push all corrupting thoughts away, but Dragon began to read my negative ideas and became absorbed by them. The fact that you and Miss Messia are awake means the tower cycle has begun. There's still little time. Yeah, Estika was Dragon the whole time. I'd say there's a few plot holes in that, but it does make for a shocking plot twist. Hold on, try. Kinzu, I'm sorry. I feel Dragon's evil. Was my fault. Okay. He saw the temptation of using his power for self-glory and evil, but I could do nothing. No one must be apart. I'm sorry. Tesla, I'm now in the tower. Not much time. Enter into the next room. I'll take you to the tower. Yeah, this is the real final dungeon. To say it's a disappointment doesn't even begin to describe it. You know what you have to do to beat the final dungeon? Kill a lot of dudes, basically. They're not too hard to kill. Because they'll run right into your line of fire. I mean, they put up no difficulty here. Like, you can just plow through them. Okay, that was my fault. I forgot they could shoot a laser. But yeah, they are so freaking weak. Honestly, the most challenging thing is the shield units, because you can't hurt them half the time. But seriously, look at this. There's like 10 enemies on the field. But... I'll be with you in a second, Matt. This is so silly. Look at this. I've actually heard from another friend of mine called Nimhi, who plays Legend of Heroes a lot, and asked me if I had ever heard of the, Dragon Slayer games? Oh, hold on. Tesla, Messiah, these bitches are for you. You're both part of a team of scientists, okay, who created this tower. Its most critical link, you were preserved to witness our future race. To judge if there's hope for humanity, when the tower began operating, your life systems were engaged and you both were awakened. Scientific androids, okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, but I have played Legacy of the Wizard. I tried to sample the other Dragon Slayer games, but I wasn't really a fan of the first one, and the third one I couldn't figure out. I've really only played the fourth one, which is Legacy of the Wizard. At least I think it's the fourth one. That's the one I enjoyed playing a lot. It was called Dragon Slayer Drasso Family. I heard they were planning on making an anime in Japan of the Legacy of the Wizard story, but it never happened. It's a shame, too, because I was kind of I would be interested in seeing that. Yeah, I would watch it too, man. Like, having a whole family of, like, mages and sorcerers and fighters having to go in this big, elaborate dungeon that has so many different areas to it. Dude, that would be perfect for an anime, man. Why am I getting healed? Huh. Yeah, like I have no idea. Like, I'm just being randomly healed for no reason. Did you find Estika? He was an android created by us, and programmed to lead the people in a positive direction. We can only hope he will succeed. Use all our resources to create him. If he fails, it will be up to you to decide their fate. Rowan really was the only classic fighter. Yeah, that's kind of true, but honestly, I don't know who Rowan is. I don't know if that's the dad or the son, because I only know the mother's name. I don't know the names of anyone else. And that's only because I like her theme and have it on my computer. I think her name is Minya. Like the other characters, I just know them as the daughter, the son, the dad, the pet dragon, and that's about it. Dude, the music in Legacy of the Wizard was perfect. Oh my god. Like, the music was part of the game. Like, seriously. It's like you couldn't have Legacy of the Wizard without the awesome soundtrack. Falcom have always been great at making classic tunes that really make sense for the game that they make it for. Where are you going? Come back here. Oh, are you serious? Did you see what that enemy just did? What? You can't go out of bounds. That's not fair. Oh my god. I'm about to use my level 4 Thunder technique to speed this up, because this is getting repetitive. User's PC port. If you say so, I can't play any version except for the PSP version, because, to me, having played that version first, and trying to play the one on Steam, I can't play without the voice acting. Because to me, my experience, at any rate, the voice acting is part of the game. I cannot picture it without it. And from to my knowledge, the only way to play the PC port with the voices is to use a lot of editing through mods, and I'm not really familiar with that. Yeah, Oath and Folkana. I cannot play that without the voice acting. Especially for the villain. What's his name? The swordsman guy. And now we're at the end. Messiah! Tesla, you finally caught up with me. Yeah, it's about time. Unsheath your sword, or the tower's attack will begin. Wait, what?! Well, that came out of left field. Suddenly Skynet, I guess. You must destroy Dyna, the central computer. If you succeed, stick Crystalis into its main reactor. Yep, we now have Crystalis, which the game is named after. And we have no more bracelets, unfortunately. We also have no charge attack for the moment, but it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go ahead and save state, even though I know it's really... Yeah, Chester. Sorry. Yeah, Chester's voice acting is perfect, and I swear... Okay, Tesla, Messiah. By the time this is activated, we will no longer be alive. We hope we have made the right decisions, and that all people will realize their mistakes before it's too late. Tesla, Messiah. As old friends, we wish your safety. Good luck. Well, I understand the story. It's just, and I understand that the tower was supposedly built for world peace, but that the computer decided to go all Skynet and completely take over. But at the same time, they stick this at the end of the game. Like, we hear nothing about this until the end. It just seems kind of weird. You do not have to really strategize for this fight. I've already won. It's that freaking easy. Crystalis is thrust into the reactor. Okay, so it fired once, and that's what led to... Oh, okay, I get it. So basically what caused the destruction of the world was the tower firing. The game doesn't really explain that very well, because you think that just happened because of the war. Tesla. Messiah, did you get hurt? No, I'm fine. The danger is now over, Tesla. It would be nice to rest easy from now on without the threat of evil at our backs. Even though we're kind of the ones that followed for making the tower in the first place, but whatever. Okay, account initiated. Get out fast. Time to leave. I'm with you. Okay, it's not Metroid. They're not gonna make us walk out. It's automated. Although that certainly would be more interesting. And suddenly lightning bolt that destroys the tower. Okay. Again, I really wish this game got a sequel, because honestly there's a lot they could do with one. But, yeah, well. There's a lot of games that should have sequels that don't. It does? I played the Game Boy Color version. I don't remember that. I mean, I could play it again at some point, but I remember it being a note-for-note copy of the original. The Game Boy Color version is hard for me to play, though, because the quality is noticeably worse, and I just have noticed that there's bugs in the game that I'm not really too fond of. I remember one time I actually got stuck in an area of land. Like, the world map glitched out. Like, I'm trying to remember what happened. I went to the city of the Amazons before I was supposed to. Like, I was able to get there, before I was supposed to. But when I went into the village of the Amazons, I saved. But when I left to try to walk back to where I was supposed to go, the mountains were blocking my path back. So I actually got stuck there and had to restart my game. I was pissed. I mean, I wasn't very far into the game, but still. That, and I honestly found that the music was using a chiptune that I didn't really like. I know it's Game Boy Color, and they did have limitations, but the limitations did bug me a bit. Okay. But yeah, that's the end of Crystalis. And I've only been streaming for, I think, about 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, so I really would like to do something else. So what I'm probably going to be doing is... Let's see, do I have something nice and quick I could just play for a bit? I did at one point. I don't think I do anymore in this computer. Huh. Shit. I should really come better prepared for this. Let's see. Well, I have something for Game Boy Advance, I guess, so just a moment. Go ahead and pause the emulator. And get OBS set up for this. There we go. Yeah, that works. Although I need to... get it to stretch a bit. There we go. Yeah, this is a short little game I can play for the duration. No, it's not Art of Fighting, actually. Why isn't this... Oh, right, I need to unpause it. No, it's not Art of Fighting. I've never played that. No, this is actually a beat 'em up. Final Fight 1. I've never played King of Fighters, although I am fascinated by some of the character designs. For looking at some of the looking at some of the character designs, it looks like something I'd like. But I've also heard that... Why am I not getting any sound? Ugh, come on. Why? Yeah, why am I not getting any sound here? Oh, that's why. For some reason it wasn't connecting? Oh, the guys... Oh, they're in King of Fighters. I didn't realize that. There we go. I've never played Art of Fighting, so I'll take your word for that. I remember when I first played Final Fight back on the Super Nintendo. It was something my cousin brought over one time, and I remember really liking it. And he actually let me borrow it at one point. I think I rented it first, but I didn't get very far in it. But he did let me borrow his copy for a while. On the Super Nintendo, I never got very far because I didn't have GameFAQs at that point. It wasn't really around, and I didn't know about the options code, which you could use to tone down the difficulty, and it kicked my ass. Phantasy Star... There's one thing about that series that keeps me from really touching it, and that's the dungeons. At least for the ones I played, because I cannot figure out how to get through most of them. I remember when I emulated them, like, way back when I was still in high school, and I liked the games themselves, but when I got to the dungeons, I must have been stuck in one of those for an hour trying to figure them out. Because this was back when dungeons and certain RPGs were trying to be pseudo 3D. Trying to do that pseudo 3D look. And I've never liked that design, where you're not actually seeing your character move around in a dungeon. It's actually... Like I'm trying to remember how you describe that. There we go. I don't know why the dialogue boxes in this blink like that. It's really weird. I know it's not supposed to. It's really more of an emulator issue than anything else, but I don't know how to fix it. First person, there we go, yeah. That's the best way to describe it, and I really hated that shit. I was watching a Let's Play of the first Phantasy Star, so that I could see the content at least. But the person I was watching at the time didn't really finish the game because he got sidetracked with other projects. So I was like, forget it. Yeah, Phantasy Star 2, I did try. Yeah, that didn't last either, although for different reasons. I didn't really like the characters in that, and yeah, it's pretty hard. Granted, so was 1, but 2 was worse, though. Like... I was really sad that I could never get the Game Boy Advance Phantasy Star Collection to work, because I've heard that's probably the best way to play it. At least until recently, when they started adding the HD collection, I think. But this was way back, when GBA emulation was starting to become really popular. But it never worked for me. Not in an emulator, at least. It kept glitching up, and I was like, man... I've heard the same. I have. I tried playing Phantasy Star Online, is what I tried to get into, because I heard from everyone that it was the best thing since sliced bread. But I could not get into that, I'm sorry. Like, I tried, I really did, but... it was too slow for me. I played it on PSP. I've heard the PC port is better, but PSP was the only version I could play. At the time, anyway. But... man, it was slow. Like, I could not get into that. I mean, I could try for at some point and tell you if it's viable for me. There are some rules that I have for if I'm gonna like a game or not, though. One, how hard is it? Because, if it's ever bullshit to the point to where I have to grind, or if I have to be in a boss fight for like 40 minutes, then I'm probably not gonna like it. That's why I'm not big into the Shin Megami Tensei type games. They're brutally hard, and I don't like how long boss fights tend to be in those games. Persona is a maybe, but I've heard that those games have a tendency to be hated. Like, I've heard the Persona games have been known to be hated from a lot of people for various reasons. So, I don't know. I'll try Phantasy Star 4 out, though. What system is it for, however? Is it for Sega Genesis or Sega Saturn? Okay, yeah. I was checking to see if the chat froze. There we go. The one thing I like about this, as opposed to Super Nintendo Original, is it has... What the... Oh, it's on Steam. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to say no to a free game, that's for sure. I mean, I'll play it later, of course, but... Because I have a feeling that... Oh, there we go. Well, I'm not objected to trying new things, I'm just kind of fussy when it comes to the content of said games, sometimes. Because people have been wanting me to get into Persona for a while. I have a couple of friends that... while not interested in the characters, likes the, I'm trying to think the word here. They like the idea of Persona, just not the characters, but they figured I'd like it, though. The thing is that even though it's not SMT technically, I've heard it is ridiculously harder compared to most standard JRPGs, and that does kind of concern me. I would really need to know. Ah, damn it! No, you piece of... Give me the sword. There we go. Well, keep in mind, what may blow someone away may not blow me away. It's very, subjective, but I'll take your word for it, though. I'll try it out before I stream it. Because I'm not gonna blind stream it. That's... a game like this, I would be afraid to do that. Because I've heard interesting things about it that concern me a little bit. Granted, the big thing that kind of concerns me is that the Phantasy Star series tend to reference each other, and I am kind of afraid that with my limited exposure to the series, there'd be a lot that goes over my head. I'd have to know just how much of the series I'd have to know. Because if I do, then I'm going to track down some Let's Plays first. And watch someone else play through the other games. Because I'm certainly not going to do that. 4 is very self-contained. Well, that's good to know. Because I've heard some of the other games really want you to know about the lore of the series. That's also one reason why I'm not really big into playing the Legend of Heroes games that Falcom made. They're great games and all, for the most part. But this really applies to some of the more modern versions that they've made. Not so much the first few games, which aren't awful, but they're not particularly great either. Not the first ones they made. But the thing is, the newer games do tend to reference a lot of the events from the older games too. And that does kind of annoy me, because it's very hard to go back to those older games to experience them. I tried emulating the first game. I couldn't get through it. It was boring as hell. Hold on. A summary of the previous games do not give you spoilers too. It's more of the intro to 4. Do you mean that 4 is the intro to the series, or that other games are pretty much an intro to 4? If 4 is a prequel, then that works fine for me, because I haven't really played the other games much. So really it wouldn't matter much to me. Oh, you're explaining the intro to 4, okay. That's what you meant. Okay, that works. I mean, I'm sure one of these days I'll probably, if I'm gonna really be serious about playing Phantasy Star 4, I'm probably just gonna watch a Let's Play of the older games at some point anyway. Because I'm that kind of person who just wants to know everything about a series if I get into it. Even if I can't play said games due to their annoyance. If there's one thing I hate, though, it's when you have a crappy game in a series, and yet a company will insist on adding as many references to that crappy game in other works or other sequels. I hate it when people do that. Alright. Yeah, this guy's a pain. He has a lot of weapons he can use on you, which is a pain. And when he gets low on health, he'll try to get ranged on you and shoot you. I hate this guy. Oh. Especially when that happens. Oh well. Mother Brain? Really? Great. Now I'm expecting to see Metroid start showing up. I mean, I'm not gonna blame them too much for that name choice, but still, the Metroid comparisons are gonna be inevitable. Especially since, if I'm reading this right, Mother Brain is a computer. And Mother Brain in Metroid controls the Metroids like she's a computer almost. Yeah, I have heard Phantasy Star is very big into sci-fi. Like, extremely big into sci-fi. I don't really hate that idea, but... I've heard that Phantasy Star was apparently the inspiration for when Parasite Eve was actually made, because someone really liked combining the sci-fi elements with magic. Although, from what I hear, Phantasy Star did handle the elements a lot better. Granted, I've never played Parasite Eve, so... And from what I heard, that's for the best, because I've heard I probably wouldn't like it, given my taste in games. No, instead, I tried playing Vagrant Story. Big mistake. Yeah, I didn't last very long in that game. I didn't like it. Oh, I didn't say they have anything to do with each other. I just said that's where... Was it Square who made that game? They got inspiration from it, from Phantasy Star. Now, I can't really comment on anything other than that, since I haven't really played Parasite Eve or a lot of the Phantasy Star games. So I really have no idea where the inspiration came from, really. I just heard that Parasite Eve kinda sucks now. Because it used to be good, but then they made the third game, and at that point, nobody cared. Oh, you're still explaining it, okay. I'm gonna have to cycle back and read a lot of this, because this is a lot to take in. I will say this, as much as I hated the dungeons in Phantasy Star 1, I was interested in the characters at least. Because, especially for the time, this game showed up in a time when RPGs were actually originally starting to be taken seriously as a medium back during the Super Nintendo era. And I think Phantasy Star was... having characters that were way more complex than anything Americans were really accustomed to, especially in video games. Because keep in mind, this was before the big anime movement in America, so really, I think Phantasy Star was the first time that we saw any type of complex characterization. So I will give it that. That's honestly one reason why I really do want to watch a Let's Play of the whole series at some point. Because I've heard, while Phantasy Star games are questionable with their content, at least the characterization has always been on point. And if you know anything about me, I love a good character in an RPG, if it's well written. If he or she is well written, anyway. Yeah, I'll stop the stream at some point. I probably won't be playing it till much later, though, because I'm going to be going to bed soon, so... No worries. But yeah, back to Final Fight though. I like the fact that they added a kind of an experience system to the Final Fight game. You essentially can actually defeat a lot of dudes to gain experience points. points. I think 1 experience point for each guy you kill. And if you kill enough dudes to get experience, then you can unlock options within the game, which some are just basic options that you had in the Super Nintendo game. But others are actually quite a bit different. The best options this game offers is that you can play as the alpha, the Street Fighter Alpha versions of Guy and Cody. And they kick all kinds of ass in this game. It's really fun. But I don't think I have any of those options unlocked right now, but that's fine. It doesn't take too long to do. Even if you get a game over, it still keeps your experience tallied, so you don't have to worry about losing all your progress or anything. Get out of my way, you freaking assholes. Oh my god, I'm trying to see if this... Okay, I don't think this is the right dog. One of these dogs will heal you if you stand in front of it. But I don't think this is him. That's a shame. Okay. Okay. So, can I, like, save the chat? Because I'd kind of like to show this to people. I don't know if you can, though. Oh, so other people are viewing me. Really? Okay, I'll worry about that later then. I thought Matt was the only one here. That's amazing. I'm actually getting viewership. That's kind of amazing. Maybe I should do this in the morning more often. I don't know. I thought the best viewership was like in the mid-evening, but maybe not. I'm the most active in the morning anyway, most of the time, so that would actually work out for me. Heck yeah. Well, that's just awesome. But yeah, Final Fight is definitely one of those games that I always come back to because it's short, it's fun, you know, there's not much to it. There's the experience system that kind of intrigues me in the GBA version, you know. It's just a fun game to go back and experience. Other beat-em-ups, not so much. Although I like playing Streets of Rage every so often on the Sega Genesis. So those games can be fun, if not a bit hard. Like, really hard at times. I say as I get socked in the face. The thing is, though, when you're playing this game, as your experience gets higher and higher, you actually get access to more options, which makes the game easier. So, really, it's not really as bad in this game. If Streets of Rage wanted that option, I would be so happy. Okay, like, I'm trying to figure out why I can't find the pet, which you can stand in front of to get healed. Okay, seriously, with the freaking knife spam here. Oh my... Seriously, go away. Stupid. Yeah, it's not working with this one either. Which one is it? Oh, man. Okay, there's a sword. Okay, this is the turkey. Oh, yeah. And I got a 1-up. Okay. I love having this sword. Oh, I don't think so. And we have the boss. Abigail, which... It's really hard to know what works on this guy most of the time, because he seems to counter everything at some point. I think it's because I think he switches what he will counter over time, and you just gotta kind of guess what that is. When he starts doing the charge, that's the easiest thing to deal with, since you can jump kick him when he's in the middle of that. But I was unprepared for it. Damn it! I was trying to throw him, but he threw me instead. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, he's not countering this right now. Although he was about to change what he did. Yeah, okay. Okay, phew. Got that just in the nick of time. Oh, jeez, die already, man. Yeah, it's really hard to... Okay, good, he's almost dead. Do it again. Damn it! Do the charge! There we go. Okay, he's mine now. Phew. That was kind of low close. Oh crap. I wasn't paying attention to the screen. I was checking the chat again. Oh well. It doesn't really matter if I get this. Oh, I still got it. Wow. That was a couple of seconds off, too. And now we're at the final stage, I do think. So, that's not bad for, like, my first attempt. Hee. I mean, I know I'm not going to win. I only have, like, 2 lives left, and this is a pretty tough stage when you're on the normal difficulty. Because there's a lot you have to fight through. And they throw a little bit of everything at you, too, so... Ugh, really? I punched the first barrel, but the second one got me, huh? But I made it farther than I thought I was going to get, so I think this is definitely pretty good for me, because I am not the best guy at Final Fight. I'm sure you've noticed by now. But I still like to play it, it's fun. It's a nice little romp through stuff. I still can't believe Crystalis ended so quickly, because I didn't get lost at all in the pyramid. And even though I made some derpy mistakes in the final boss, you know, the second to final boss, I mean, it still went smoother than it usually does. I missed one item that I don't know what I was missing, but I don't really care. The power ring is all I really go in there with anyway, and the warrior ring. Other games that I'd like to play? Well, in terms of RPGs that are going to be long projects, there's a lot that I would like to play. Like, I'm a big RPG nut, at least the ones that aren't super hard to play. And there's a lot of games that I like. It's really hard to pin down what I'd like to prioritize, though. Matt would probably like me to play Phantasy Star 4, but I'll play through that game first to see if that's even gonna be something that I could potentially do. Oh, just get over here. Whew. I almost got hit by that. Okay, that's one life down. If I make it to the final boss and lose to him, then that's gonna be amazing. Because I almost never make it to him, like, without using continues. And even then, I usually can't beat him without toning down the difficulty a little bit, because he's kind of rough. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this place is kind of nuts. Shoot. I hate it when they are just at my range. Okay, good, need. I needed that badly. Really wish I would have saved that, but oh well. I think 0 does count as a life, so I think I actually have 2 lives still. Well, thanks for giving me the sword. Yeah, I knew it. They always try to get rid of that. It's very hard to keep that sword. Oh, wait, there's 2 of these on each side. Okay, at least I got rid of one. Oh, come on. You couldn't just do the last little bit of damage. Okay, I got him. Well, because I didn't get hit. Man, there's so many creatures. I mean, not creatures, people, but enemies. I'll use that word. And I'm still pretty far away from the final section. Okay, Almost at the end of this one. Oh, I got an extra life! Yes! That's awesome. What a time for it, too. I'm about to lose this one. Okay, I'm at the end of the hallway. Good. Get away from me. Okay. I also need to remember to actually actually upload my streams to YouTube before I lose them. I'm actually kind of bad about that. Okay, I'm at the end. Oh, and 10 healing item for the win, man. I didn't really mention it, but I also kind of like the boss dialogue that was not in the Super Nintendo version. Might have been in the arcade version. I honestly don't know. Yeah, those guys can actually hit from a distance, so you don't want to get too far away from them because of that reason. I hate these guys. Okay. When they're by themselves, they're not so bad, but when they team up with other people, they can really annoy you. Okay. Am I at the final boss already? With lives to spare. Oh wait, never mind. No, I'm not. Not quite yet. Get away from me. I hate it when they get you from both sides. I've always hated that about beat-em-ups. Because there's really not much you can do about it sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of beat-em-ups are made for multiplayer in mind, but still. That's always been a cheap mechanic of beat-em-ups. Okay, this is the end. And now we fight a guy in a mobile chair. You can actually hit her, and she doesn't like that very much. And he has a freaking needle gun that he just shoots at you out of nowhere. Thankfully, its range is very poor. If you're at the side of him, he can't really hit you, but he's very good at getting distance on you. I hate the constant backup, though. That is a pain. Yeah, see, it can be really hard to take advantage of that. I love it when I can get him locked in a corner like that, but I don't care if I can throw him through the window because, oh my god, freaking enemy spam. I hate it. At least he can hurt them too, so it's not just me. Yeah, I'm not gonna win, I don't think. Not gonna happen. Nope. But that's probably where I'm gonna stop the stream for now. Yeah, I've been streaming for about an hour and 10 minutes. That's gonna be good enough for me. So that'll be that. Thank you for joining me, and next time I'll be playing something else, and we'll just see what that is. Catch you next time.